Dear Jesus and Mr. Trump, please walk through her husband in mysterious ways like you haven't before. We know that
Amen.
Trump can do wonderful things to this country and also
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Tomfoolery, age, state, and who you voted for, please.
37, Georgia, voted for Kamala. I was trying to gauge the topic before I jumped on, but I didn't.
Oh my God, we have a liberal on the lab. Those Democrats.
How
liberal in my state?
How could you have looked yourself in the mirror, call yourself a man, and went down and vote for a woman?
The woman seemed to have a lot more balls than the President Trump. Like she was capable of taking an L like a man more than Trump could in 2020, right?
So you're just speaking blasphemy now?
What are you talking about? Trump
We all
won
know
that.
who actually won the 2020 election, but I don't want to get into that without my husband present tonight.
Don't want to emasculate him.
What do you think about me wanting to rub down President Trump's biceps and triceps with baby oil? You got a problem with that?
Man, you do your thing, bro. That is all you.
I would like for you to answer the man's question. What do you think about him rubbing baby oil all over Trump's body? So,
Well, I want to know why you want to elect somebody that is in favor of this not being a Christian nation. Like, you have Donald Trump that is bringing us back to being a good Christian nation again.
How so?
Sir, he preaches the Bible in most of his speeches, and then he also goes up on live television and he talks about going to church. That is bringing our nation back to a Christian nation.
and so I don't think you noticed, but if you look at the president's tweets and on the Tweeter field, he spoke about bringing Christmas back to the White House. We all know that under Obama, Christmas was banned. So we're going back to our Christian roots. So
You guys are liberals. You guys are liberals. Give me a break.
Yeah, we're not liberal.
Give me a break.
Accuse me of such blasphemy.
Okay. All right. Thank you. This is good though.
We're liberals.
This is good though. I appreciated it though. That was good shit.
Would you like to help me with the baby oil before you go?
How dare you call me a liberal?
Progressive, yeah.
Big old socialist.
Yeah, sorry.
Whoa! I don't subscribe to all that now. Whoa there.
He's scared of getting canceled, so he left.
Jesse wants to come up.
Well, I appreciate you guys pulling me up. I am streaming. I'm trying to find some MAGA people to debate. So thanks for having me up, guys.
Sorry, Tom, but thank you for coming up.
Yeah.
No problem. Y'all have a good.
Like I was saying, everything is always TDS, man. You know, and it's even being recognized today as a actual psychosis problem, like a psychotic break problem, right?
Okay.
So
Nobody's watching this
it's
one,
a real thing.
but
Like,
I think
it's
we
not a
got one.
joke. It's fucking real, and
I think we got
all it
one.
is what you're hearing. The backlash is, oh well, we shouldn't have had soldiers here and blah blah blah, and it's Trump's fault. Well, how is it Trump's fault? Do we blame a Ford when a guy gets drunk behind the wheel and takes out a whole family in an F-150? No, we don't. We blame the guy. Let's step back to reality here for a second and have some common fucking sense, all right?
Yeah, you know, and keep in mind, this guy, I could talk about TERPs and all this other stuff and how it worked when I was in and deployed with these guys. But I will say this, just don't forget, this guy came from Washington State. He wasn't even a DC resident. So a question's been going around because he's been here since 21 and he was really young. I don't know if he was a term.
He was a CIA. He worked with the CIA, and he was an interpreter. and he worked with
They haven't pulled me up
our
yet.
militant forces
I'm in
overseas.
Nobody else is
Yeah,
requesting
and
out.
that part I know. I just didn't know if he was a terp or an informant because I've heard a couple different stories on it. But,
He was an interpreter. He was an interpreter, an informant, and he also worked with our CIA. So,
I thought he did
yes.
military training.
Yeah. So
What?
The question going around is, what was he radicalized here? And my thought is probably yes. 21, and especially living in Washington.
Yeah, I just
State,
tried signing
which is
into like
hard to
2 more
do,
accounts.
You know,
and it's-
yes,
Oh.
so he had intent. And
Okay.
go ahead.
No, continue your thought. Then I'll introduce.
Oh no, yeah, no, that's it. That's all I wanted to say. I mean, there's probably going to be a lot. There's probably going to be a lot more to the story. I'll let
Okay. All right. I got Tomfoolery. Can I get your age, please, and who you voted for?
37 voted for Kamala. Are you guys able to hear me okay? Do I need to turn myself up at all?
No,
No,
I
you're-
can
no, you're good, man.
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good, bro.
I did want to mention I am streaming on YouTube if that's okay with you guys. I don't want to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no problem. Sure. Of course. Go right ahead, sir.
All right, cool. What are we talking about?
We're talking about the unaliving of a 20-year-old who recently passed away, and also one that's in critical condition. That
Okay.
was done by an Afghan man who was age 29. I think it was wrong of him to do that, even though he worked for the CIA. Not saying that the CIA hasn't done anything bad to him.
But he doesn't work for the
Probably
CIA. He did in from 2011 to 2015. He was helping train military in Afghanistan while they were over there fighting, and was an interpreter for them. But he doesn't work for them anymore. That was just part of his vetting process.
Well, that's not the records that I read.
The last job that we know of him having was he was a driver for Amazon.
No, I'm not talking about his daily job. I'm talking about the fact that what he did and what he was involved in. Yes, the CIA was involved in it. So, yes.
From my understanding, the CIA vetted him, so I don't think he actually worked for the CIA. It was that in order for him to be one of the people training and doing working with the military at all in Afghanistan, he had to be vetted by the CIA because they're the ones who run all of those background checks for people over there, and because they're the ones who do foreign intelligence, and so they were the ones who ran background checks on people in other countries. But it wasn't that he actually worked directly for the CIA.
My question is why did Homeland Security miss him?
Well, what do you mean miss him? What do you think they should have found?
Well, obviously the guy isn't. He ain't exactly right in the head, right? Like there's something wrong. Doing what he did, there's something wrong, man. And he was given amnesty here. He was brought over here, which I understand, because doing the job that he did put his life at risk in the country that he was in, and he was given a new life here. But why did Homeland Security miss it? Because CIA isn't the only one involved. Homeland Security does all kinds of background checks on everybody that comes in the country. It's part of their job. So what did they miss?
Well, that's what I'm asking you. You're making a statement that they missed something. I don't know that they actually missed something. If they did, I would like to know.
Well,
yeah, go ahead.
Well, sir, there's one that's not with us anymore, and one in critical condition, and the guy literally went out of his way to go and do what he did. So,
do you think everybody who worked for the Taliban was out of their minds, or do you think some of them had just been radicalized?
Well, Tom, you got to understand something. They call them blue on green incidents, especially with the ANA, and the ANP, Afghan National Army, Afghan National Police Force. They would actually turn on the soldiers. So I'm not sure. I mean, from what I've heard, this guy got over here during the withdrawal from Kabul and ended up on a plane. And
Yeah, shortly
I
after.
don't know, maybe. Yeah, exactly. So it's not. It's unusual because it happened here in the States, but it's not unusual. I don't want to say. Well, it's actually unusual, even if it's over there. But they would pretend. I don't know what the right word to use is. They would pretend to be like allied with the United States, and then they would turn and pick up a pew pew and blast a bunch of U.S. service members. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and so I do think that like that seems to be something that's common with people who are in the military when they have things like PTSD. It also seems to be a common thing that like people from other countries where we've done regime takeovers and we've failed in those regime takeovers, they've held a lot of resentment for the United States afterwards because we ruined the country that they loved and allowed ISIS to take over there. They and so that's why I was asking about like. Well, no.
Blaming us for what happened.
Well, just to be clear,
Just
what?
pause for 1 second. Pause for 1 second. Talking Cack, you're one of my full moderators in here. Just so you know. Anyways, continue conversation.
Just to be clear, like if I was blaming somebody, it would be Joe Biden for what it is that he did, like in his pullout of Afghanistan and the way that we removed the military, or it would be, I think it was even like Obama who started that process in the first place, but it's not it's not as much about like blaming anybody. It's more about the fact that I do think that there are people who can be rational in their hatred for another country. I think that it can make sense why somebody would be upset with the United States for what happened to their home.
I can understand what you're saying, but see, I'm a very rational person, and I don't ask for the unaliving of people in another country, right? That's not what I ask for. I think that peace is the way through, right? Like me personally, I would like to see no wars. I would like to see no conflict. I don't see how anybody benefits in any way, shape, or form because there's always innocence that winds up, right? I don't think that everybody that's over in the Middle East is a bad person, right? That's not my stance. I've never been that way. And I do understand that in war there's casualties, right? Like there are, and it's unfortunate. And I don't condone any of it. It's not something I'm for. I've never been about it. I'd rather see my boys be home, right, protecting us and leaving other people alone. In fact, I think that I have a different stance on a lot of things than most conservatives, but honestly, between me and you, I think that we need to just keep our nose out of shit, and we need to be more worried about our own borders and our own country, and leave everybody else alone. That's just my opinion. That's where I come from.
I mean, I get that. Do you acknowledge that it was the Trump administration who approved him for asylum this year?
Well,
no.
I did actually see that, but it was put through under Biden originally.
So yeah, it was the Biden administration who started the process and allowed him to come over here, but it was the Trump administration who approved his asylum claim for him to stay.
And part of that was because he was a CIA informant.
Correct.
He had knowledge of things that went on, and he got amnesty based on the fact that he had knowledge of things that went on behind the scenes because he's an informant. And he gave information to both the FBI and the CIA, that with the FBI for things that go on here in America, and the CIA for things that go on abroad. I understand this, and yes, that I do get that. And in my opinion, I think that we really dropped the ball. And I'm not going to say that one is lesser than the other, right? Like, in my opinion, the man should have never been here. We could have sent him anywhere. Okay, listen. When people get put in protective custody, we can literally send them anywhere in the world and give them a new life. Why do they need to come here?
Well, right? Why would they go? why would any other country accept them? Like if we're saying, hey,
Why not?
we think someone should accept
Why not?
him, we're not going to do it though. Why would other countries do it then?
Because if they're a risk, as you see, this is what happens. They're a risk. Why would we bring them here?
Well,
Why
but you're
not set them up with a better life somewhere else where they're more comfortable? There's 56 other countries that the man could have went to where nobody would have known him.
but why would he
56 other countries that believe in the same things that he believes in. Why do we bring him here?
I'm
Why?
not understanding. If you think he's a risk, why would any country want to accept a risk into their country?
You're not listening. Listen, he was all about his culture, right? So why not put him in a different country where he can thrive in his own culture somewhere else that
I don't
doesn't
know that he was all
involve
about his culture.
America.
From like witness testimony
Obviously
from his
he
other
was.
friends and
You just saw what he did.
that doesn't
just
have
saw
anything
what
to
he
do
did.
with culture.
It has everything to do with it. Are
Okay,
you
so
kidding
just
me?
real quick, the majority of like mass shootings, domestic terrorism, are from like white Christian men in America. So I don't think that has anything to do with.
That is a lie.
I don't think that has anything to do with culture. But on top of that, the second thing is that his friends are all like gave witness testimony to the fact that he had said that he liked living in America, that he was happy here, his family was happy here, he liked the schools that his kids were going to, that like he had been
he
here
liked it
for.
so much that he had to go out of his way to hurt some people that were in our service, right?
But we don't know why he did it.
I know exactly why. He
Yeah,
did
well, okay, can you show me any evidence to
I
that,
do
or are you just assuming because of
No.
culture?
it. I guess you've never been around these people. I have. So.
No, I have.
I
I've spent.
understand better than
I
you.
have spent lots of time around Muslims. I grew up a minority as a white man
Then
in
why-
New York
why-
City.
Why do you think that he's so innocent all of a sudden?
I didn't say he was innocent. What are you talking? I never said this. I asked you for evidence that it's
Well,
attached
you're
to his
acting like
culture.
he's innocent.
I did not.
You
I
wanna
never.
make- you
What
wanna
did
make
I
all
say that
kinds
made
of
it sound like he was
excuses, my
innocent?
friend.
What excuse did I make for what he
Listen,
did?
You want to make all
What
kinds of
excuse did I make?
excuses, my friend, for
What
he
excuse
did.
did I make?
And it's not acceptable.
What
my friend.
excuse did I
It's
make?
just not.
What excuse did I make?
Oh, that he had PTSD and that he had this and he had that. Well, listen, man. Okay, we got a lot of soldiers that have PTSD that are here in this country. I happen to know a hell of a lot of them myself. I'm good friends with quite a few myself. And I'll tell you what, they've never harmed a soul in this country. So I don't know where you're coming from on this. I don't
Okay,
understand this angle.
Me saying he has PTSD is not an excuse for what he did. On top of that, you were the one who started off saying that he had something wrong with him, and you're the one who made that statement. I said he could have PTSD. He could also have rational reasons for doing this, but you initially made the statement that there was something wrong with him, which is making an excuse for him more than
Okay,
anything
so
else.
Let me ask you a question then, from a philosophical point. Okay, let me ask you a question. What rational reason does a man have to drive 60 fucking hours to go out of his way to go and hurt people that he used to work with?
He drove 65 hours from Washington State all the way down to D.C. in Maryland. 65 hours.
Specifically to do nothing more than to harm one of our soldiers or two of our soldiers. What rational reason could you think of?
Well, I gave some
If there
answers.
wasn't a problem, if there wasn't an issue or a problem, then what would be the reason then? You tell me.
So I gave a number of possibilities earlier, but I also want to be clear that I'm not making any sort of statement as to what his state of mind is. I am speculating. You're not speculating. You're saying, I know that it's his culture that caused him to do this. You are not speculating. You are making a definitive statement without any evidence that you're willing to present.
Excuse me, gentlemen. Excuse
Here,
me,
can
gentlemen.
I explain to you how I understand how these people work?
Go ahead.
They're brown?
Okay.
I'd like to hear it.
No. There's 1,400 years. There's 1,400 years of documented history of how they operate. And in the very beginning, they were in one country. They've taken over 52 different countries right now. They're on their way to make 53 right now. Actual 53 countries right now by force, because their religion is based on the belief of living by the sword. Okay, and there's three ways they do it. They come in, they act all friendly, they act all nice, and then they turn around and act like victims, and then they turn around when they get a majority of people where they can get people in office and things like that, and then they start acting out and doing things they shouldn't be doing. This is a documented thing for 1,400 years. It's no joke. It's been the same forever. This is nothing new.
So I want to be clear. I'm not going to deny anything that you just said, but when you do mark this as like they are specifically living by the sword and just totally erasing the other 1,400 years of like British colonialism and like what happened in the Americas, what happened all over Africa, what happened
not
like
talking about America, man.
I know
I'm
you're
talking
not.
about America.
I
I'm
know.
talking about-
I know
I'm
you're not.
talking
That's
about
wait.
1,400
Hold
years
on.
of history.
Hold on.
You know
Hold
what
on.
the difference
Hold on.
is with
Hold on. Let
America
me finish my
is
point.
we gave
What?
people
What?
something.
Let me finish my
We didn't
point.
take from them.
I know, but I'm trying to. That is not true. That's literally what colonialism is. It is taking like resources from a group
Listen,
and then taking
colonialism
over
has
their
happened on
land.
every single
Whereas,
continent on the planet, man.
okay, I don't disagree, but
What-
that's my
listen,
That's my
you
point.
don't
Wait,
understand.
that's my point. That's my point. Let me finish my point.
Oh
Is
my
that
God.
I'm making the
You
point.
think that Indians weren't colonialized?
Oh my goodness! That's my point. Please, for the love of God, you're getting too defensive instead of actually engaging with what it is that I'm saying. My point is that
not.
you're saying that
trying to
just
explain to you.
that no, you're not listening. You haven't allowed me to make the point yet. Is that that like what it is that Muslims did is no different than what it is that white American Christian or white Christians have done all over the world as well. But you pinpoint them and act like what they're doing is this violence that says live by the sword. It's what they've done for 1,400 years, totally forgetting that the white British people were the best at doing this for the last 1,400 years. Just totally forgetting about that part.
Well, last time I checked, Christ didn't tell you to behead your fucking neighbor. Anyways,
Is that relevant or that's not? No. That is
It's
not.
very
You did not say what it is that was.
Because
You said what
it's
it is
very
that they
relevant.
did in the last 1,400 years. Did Christ live in the last 1,400 years?
No, you're not listening to what I'm saying.
I'm
You're
listening.
trying to
You
twist
said
my
14.
words around.
Okay.
You're not listening, man. You're not listening. What I'm explaining to you is the way that their culture moves, okay, is by the sword. And what I mean by that is you realize you're given three choices if you're not part of Islam, right? You're given three choices. And if you don't believe me, look up the other 52 countries they've taken over and how they've done it. All right? You have three choices. One, they give you a choice to convert. You can convert to Islam. If you choose not to convert to Islam, then you're beaten into submission to pay taxes. And you have to pay taxation for protection. And if you refuse to pay taxation to Islam, well, then they just take you out. Okay, this is how they rule. This is how they do it. This is what's been going on for 1,400 years. It's nothing new. And I'm trying to explain to you that the difference between what you're talking about is we're talking about modern times. We're not talking about something that happened 1,000 years ago.
You just said
okay?
1,400 years.
Because whatever happened 1,000 years ago with Christianity isn't what's going on today and hasn't for hundreds and hundreds of years.
You said 1,400
Right.
years. You said 1,400 years.
Yes.
That's your point.
Because
You
they've
said
had the
1,400
same
years. You are talking
they've
about
had the
1,000
exact-
years ago.
Because they've had the exact same play card for 1,400 years. Where Christianity evolved and moved on. They don't do that.
Okay, so if I bring up a bunch of examples like what it is that we did in Iraq, what it is that we did in Iran, what it is we did in Afghanistan, you're going to say that that's all
Which,
just
by the
totally
way, had
irrelevant
nothing
to
do with
Christianity.
It had nothing to do with Christianity, by the way.
Okay.
It was about oil. It was about resources. It was all kinds of bullshit. We should have never been over there. There was no weapons of mass destruction. Any of that. I agree with you 100%. It was a joke. I buried 4 of my fucking friends. Okay?
You know
life-
that the majority of Muslims
that
agree that 9/11 was wrong too, though, right?
It was wrong. And,
Yes,
but I can't
so-
get into that on here because it'll get my friends taken down here.
Okay, but you're saying that
Yes.
you're talking about it as though they agree with what it is that happened on that day, and that Christians disagree with what it is that happened in Iran and Iraq.
The streets, all the ones that cheered in the streets when it happened, kind of proves my point.
Yes, but there were Christians that cheer in the streets over what was happening with Afghanistan as well. That happened all over America. I
I've
don't
never
know
seen
how
any.
old. You must be a lot younger than me. I'm 37. I remember very clearly.
I'm 45, bro.
Okay,
I'm
there's no
45,
way
man.
that you don't remember
And by the
everybody
way,
and the
I'm
way
like
that they
you.
talked
I
about
bet you haven't.
Saddam
I bet you haven't
Hussein.
been out of the country before, have you?
There's no way that you don't remember how everybody talked about Osama bin Laden, Saddam Hussein, and all of the people in Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq, Pakistan. There's no way you don't remember that. There's no way.
You want me to tell you the truth? The only reason why we went after Saddam Hussein was because of the fact that his daddy couldn't get it done.
But that has nothing to do with the way that white.
His daddy's job.
That
Okay.
has nothing to do with the way that Christians talked about them. That has nothing to do with the way that Christians
Doesn't matter.
talked
You're
about
not
those
listening
people.
to me. You're not listening.
You
You're
just
not listening
denied
to
that they
anything
did
I'm
it.
saying.
I did. You just denied
Problem
that they
is-
did that, and now
listen,
you're
the
pivoting.
problem The problem is that you have an apologist mentality, and it isn't going to work with me.
I
man.
haven't apologized for anything. You're the one who's apologizing for things. I'm the one who's disagreeing with you. You can't keep trying to flip this on me. You're the one who's apologizing. I'm not.
I'm trying to explain something to you.
You just said that I have an apologist mentality. I have not apologized for a single thing. You have been apologizing for what it is that Christians have been doing, and you're pretending that it didn't happen. I'm saying that
Listen, I'm not a Christian, and believe me, I think the Christians did horrific things back in the medieval times. I'm not saying that they didn't. What I'm telling you is that we live in now. Okay, so you can't equate what's going on back then to now because of the fact that it doesn't affect you.
You did.
Okay, what happened
You
back
brought up
then doesn't
1,400
affect
years
today.
ago.
What I'm telling you, I'm not bringing up 1,400 years. I said it's been the same for 1,400 years and never changed.
Okay.
Where Christianity has changed in the last 1,400 years. Okay, that's what I explained to you. You're not listening. You're not opening your mind here, man.
Okay, so just listen to what I'm saying, because I think you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. I'm not saying that Christianity hasn't changed. I'm saying that when we look at what it is that Muslim countries have done, that when it comes to attacks, the majority of Muslims disagree with that. Just the way that if we look at what it is that Christian nations have done, the Christians in those countries seem to disagree with that. And
Yes,
so
but they don't though. They don't. No, listen. Anybody that follows Islam does not. They do never apologize for anything that's happened in the past, as well as what's going on in the future.
I can show you people who have apologized for those things.
They don't do it.
I can show you tons of leaders who have apologized for those things.
Oh, what? Who? Like who exactly?
Like the
because every time I turn around, it's always another one wanting to scream all kinds of things about Sharia law and how they're going to conquer the West and they're going to be in every single home and we're not going to have a choice about it or anything. Like, please tell me.
Who said that?
Anybody in any kind of power with the Islam.
Okay, well, so the organization Islamic Society of North America immediately apologized for the attacks and said that it was wrong and condemned them, and also donated money and backed George Bush going into the Middle East. The Council on America-Islamic Relations also participated in backing George Bush and said that they had done a bunch of prayers at their mosques all over North America. The Arab League also called out what it was that Osama bin Laden did and denounced them. International reactions, they also called them out and had a bunch of Muslim leaders go to the United Nations and speak on this. George Bush had the Afghanistan president at the time go to the...
Can I explain to you one thing about Islam that you're not understanding?
Wait, hold on. Wait. I want to hear it. I do. Wait. No. Hold on. I want to hear it. But you did just deny that anybody ever apologized for these things. You did just deny. You said nobody ever apologizes for these things. I would like you to acknowledge that leaders all over the world... Okay, what? What is it that they're supposed to be apologizing for right
now?
Anything.
They celebrate anytime something bad happens.
So give me an example. Give me an example of something they celebrated.
Okay, go on YouTube and look up what happened in 9/11 and look up YouTube and see how many of them celebrated in the streets.
I didn't deny people celebrated. Hold on. I didn't deny people celebrated. I did not deny people celebrated.
Dearborn right now.
Please.
Look up what goes on in Dearborn right now, right?
I already know. I did not deny people celebrated.
The streets in New York. Hang on. When they're out in the streets in New York out in the streets of Dearborn, and they're literally celebrating things, and they're saying "Death to America."
Okay.
But yet you're telling me they're a peaceful group.
I didn't say that. I never said that. I don't know why. Listen to what I'm saying this time, please. Okay, just listen this time. Don't interrupt me. Just listen this time. No. So you're already interrupting. You're already interrupting. Just allow me to state it again. Okay. So I did not say that there are not people in their group who are evil or violent or anything. I never said this. You said there are no people in their group who are apologizing for any of these things. You made that statement. I just brought up tons of different apologies that they've given. Then you said they're not apologizing anymore. I asked you for something that they're not apologizing for. And instead of you answering that question, you told me there's people celebrating. I agree there's people celebrating. I'm asking you to give me a thing that they are not apologizing for.
Listen, do you realize that under Islam,
he's not going to answer the question.
The ones that are apologizing that did or whatever fake bullshit that they did, okay, that's 0.003%. Look it up.
Wait, hold on. I'm gonna address the comment section. Ranchman, you just said in the comment, I did the wrong thing. See what happens. What the fuck are you talking about?
I did the what? Really? I mean, I can get rid of him. Do you want me to get rid of him?
No, I'm just saying. I'm asking. No, don't do that. Jesus.
I didn't get rid of him.
Well, I was just reading the comment section. Ranchman said, "You did the wrong thing. See what happens." Okay.
I think he was talking about Islamic people. But oh yeah, no, he did say the host. Yeah.
Okay, we got sweet.
And I'm not the host, so
yeah.
Okay, I got Sweet Stormy up here.
Anyways, all I was trying to tell you, Tom, is if you look at the deception that goes on, and you look at how things really are, without looking through, turn the blinders off and look through the deception, because under Islam, their whole goal is to conquer, right? And the only way you conquer is through deception. You're supposed to lie to your enemy to make your enemy your friend so that they can conquer you later. And that is part of what Islam is about.
If that's the case, why aren't all Islamic countries teamed up together in the Middle East?
That's why
it's in the Quran, exactly.
That's the reason I came up. It is in the Quran. You can trick your enemies into thinking anything you want them to think, because their whole ideal is to conquer whoever they want to take over. They want Islam in every state of the United States. They want it all over the world, in every home, and that's their goal.
Okay, so Sweet Stormy, I'm not gonna if that's true, why haven't
I'm not gonna deny, but hold on.
Have you read the Quran?
Finish your thought. Hold on, finish your thought. I had something to say, but please finish your thought.
I was just gonna ask it, if that's the case. I have a question. So you go first, and I'll go afterwards.
Okay, I was just gonna say, in Dearborn, Michigan, there was actually a couple of mosques that were actually fined and charged with fines because they did this call to prayer for an Islamic church. They did this at 5 a.m. in the morning.
I'm sorry. What mosques are Islamic churches? What does that mean?
I'm just saying they got fined because they're not supposed to do that at 5 in the morning.
Oh, it's because the time they did it.
In the morning.
Okay.
They got fined. They did this multiple times.
It's a noise ordinance.
It's a noise ordinance charges.
Okay.
But like I said, Dearborn is trying to push it. New York is trying to push it. It's like, come on. It's like, I'm Catholic. If I'd like to practice my own religion, please don't try and get me up at 5 a.m. I don't appreciate that.
Yeah, sure. I I don't
Just
disagree.
mention
I agree that they're doing that. But the thing that I was going to ask Sweet is, like, if that's the case, why aren't all Islamic nations in the Middle East working together? Why are they all like different, separate countries with separate leaders, with separate agendas, with separate goals? Like, why won't they all just work together? Some of them are allies with the United States. Some of them hate the United States. Like, why, if they all have this, like, in the Quran where it tells them how to treat us and how to act towards us, why won't they all just work together to fight us? Is she gone? Yeah, she left. Okay.
Oh, wait, she ran?
Yeah, she left.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's while I don't disagree that like there's things that are violent in the Quran, there's also things that are violent in the Bible. Now, I forget his name, Talking is correct. That like the Christianity across the world has modernized a lot and has become a lot more peaceful over the last 500 years, and that is a very real thing, and the majority of Muslim nations have done the same. But then there's still a lot of like extremist Islamic countries that are still very much living in the past, and I'm not going to deny that some of those countries are still very violent, but there's still lots of other Islamic countries that are not doing these things, that are not helping any sort of terrorism, that are not fighting against the United States, that are allies with the United States, or that work with the United States. Like there's a broad range of Islamic states and Islamic ideologies. There's the Shiites, there's the Sunnis, there is a number of different types of Muslims and Muslim ideologies, and to just categorize them all as the same thing, as though a Baptist and a Catholic are the same exact thing, is just kind of ridiculous. Like there's a drastic broad range of Muslim ideologies and different types of ways that people read the Quran and how they interpret it. And so to just categorize them all as one type of religion is kind of reductive.
Okay, I got somebody down in the comment section running their mouth. All right, come on up. Actually, you know what? Request up, BBC Johnson. And of course, Talking Cack, we know that's not a reliable source, BBC. But let's let her up and see what she has to say. I think it's a she. I think it is. Let me put my glasses on here. Yeah, come on up.
It's a troll. They're not going to come up.
Oh. That's a... Okay, I have 5 people in my live. Let's keep tapping that screen. Gifts for the host and the panel are greatly appreciated, but if you cannot do that, please like the live. Let's try and get up to 5,000 here. That's my goal for tonight. But anyways, with that said, we know, but also in other news, my dad, Jeff Holsworth, just won the senior tournament out here at Midway Lanes in Mandan, North Dakota. Congratulations to my dad, and I'm giving him a great big shout out. With that said, we now return you to your regularly scheduled program. All right, continue.
I don't know. Talking Cack has been on mute for a while now, so I don't know where he went.
Hold on. Talking? You there? Talking? He's probably away from his phone. Okay, I might as well jump in. What's one point that you're wanting to get across?
I'm here, man. I'm sorry. I was in the house. I'd use the restroom. I apologize.
Okay, all right. The person next to you was wanting to talk to you.
Well, the last statement that I made Well, yeah, the last statement that I made is it like what Sweet said doesn't really make sense, because if that was the case, that like all of these countries have the same ideology and they're all reading the Quran in the same way to be violent and to do all of these horrible things, it doesn't make sense why they don't all just work together in the Middle East to fight against America when they have like Sunni, they have Shiite, they have like more modernized Muslims, they have very like old school Muslims that are very violent. Like there's a drastic array of different types of Muslims that have different types of ideologies. And so when she and you seem to categorize them all as this one violent ideology, why aren't they all working together to fight against the United States then? Why do we have allies that are Muslim states?
They do, actually. You just ignore the signs.
Okay, so like what?
What do you mean, like what?
Like what's a Muslim state that is an ally with the United States, that works with the United States? That
No, there is no Muslim state that's an ally with the United States other than Saudi Arabia.
Okay. And
by the way, we have a very, very, very thin relationship with Saudi Arabia.
sure, but why aren't they working with all of the other countries? Because they have thin relationships with Iran. Why aren't they working with Iran if they all have the same ideology and the same religion, the same book,
They all do have the same ideology. Hey, listen, man, it's in the Quran, bro. If you've never read the Quran,
I literally just said it's in the Quran. It's also in the Bible. So like there's violence in the Bible as well. There's no violence in the Bible? Really? So there's really? So
there's no conquering. There's no conquering in the Bible. I don't know what you're talking about.
Really?
There we go. We got opposition up here. Oh, she dipped. Oh, this person dipped. Actually, yeah, they dipped.
And by the way, the other problem that you have with the Quran is people with the Quran, right? They follow the Quran like it's 100% factual. Where the majority of Christians, I'll be honest with you, they don't follow Christianity 100% factual. They haven't for a millennia now. Okay?
Yes, wait, but that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
And the Quran, no, you're not listening to me. The problem that you have is that the people that are Islamic, right, by nature, have some of the lowest IQ ratings of any species of human on the fucking planet. And that is not me being racist. That is me being factual, because they have all kinds of incest and all kinds of things that go on within their culture in Islam. And that drives the IQ down. That is a fact of life. And if you don't believe me, look it the fuck up.
So
the average IQ rating of the average person, right, that follows the Quran in these Islamic cultures is actually lower than what we would consider in our country to be a special needs person.
So you are factually incorrect. So the Islamic and Indian people, Islamic and Indian people have the third highest IQ behind Jews, white people, and then Indians. That is, or sorry, like Asians are probably up there with us as well. But black Afro. See, you talk over me at literally every single time I start talking because you're terrified of what it is that I'm going to say. I'm literally going to read it right now. Oh my God, you're literally talking over me as I'm trying to make a point. You never stop interrupting me because you know.
Just mute you and just talk over you anyway.
You would, because you're terrified of actually having a real fucking debate like a man, aren't you? You would mute me, wouldn't you? Because you won't stop fucking talking over me. You can't have a conversation like man to man. You just talk over me the whole fucking time.
Yeah, okay. It's been proven 45 years ago, bro. But
45 years ago.
Say whatever you want to say to tuck yourself in at night, bro.
So okay, so what proved this? Who proved this?
Look it up.
I did. The assertion that certain groups, Muslim groups,
You looked
based.
it up, and they're the smartest society that ever existed, right?
No. I'm reading it right now. It's the assertion that certain Muslim groups have inherently lower IQs based on religion or their origins is not supported by any scientific evidence. Observed differences in test scores between countries are complex and influenced by a variety of factors. Correlation versus causation. A correlation between countries and demographics and average IQ scores does not prove the religion nor the country is the origin of the direct cause. Yeah, this is what it is that you're saying. Like, there's.
Let me ask you a question real fast.
Mm-hmm.
What do they have for infrastructure? What do they have? What have they ever done to build society? Do they have any satellites in the air? Do they have any kind of militant, super intelligence? Do they have anything whatsoever? No, they don't. None.
What?
In no country whatsoever.
Have you ever heard of Dubai?
You mean the oil beggars? Yeah, I've heard of Dubai.
Wait, but you just said that they hadn't actually built societies. They don't have satellites.
And by the way, they've never built anything. No. You can't do that with Dubai because a lot of other countries put money in Dubai. It's not just them.
So what? That was not your original claim. Your claim was that they don't do these things.
Exactly. All right, let me break it out to you. How many satellites does Afghanistan have? How many satellites does Iraq have?
Wait.
How many satellites does Somalia have?
What about Qatar?
How many times have any of these countries ever been to the moon? How many times do they send rockets up into space? How many times do they innovate anything or do anything when it comes to social science that improves the health of anybody? Like, what have they created or done at all other than algebra?
I think that is.
What have they done other than algebra?
I think that's fair. I think that's a fair question. And so I would also ask, when has Ireland been to the moon? When has Finland been to the moon? When has Ukraine been to the moon? When has France been to the moon? When has Spain been to the moon? Weird. So there's an issue with Christian countries, bro. There's a real issue with a lot of these Christian countries.
No. What they do have is they have civilizations where you don't have that in the Middle East unless you've been.
Okay, so Dubai does not have a civilization.
No, they don't.
They don't. Okay, so what?
Really, you know that if you go over to Dubai, say you and your wife goes over to Dubai, right? Are you married?
No.
Okay, well, let's say you're married, right? Like I am. I've been married for 11 years. Okay, so say you go over to Dubai, right? You have a vacation, which, by the way, that is on my bucket list. I think it'd be a really cool place to visit.
Hey, boss lady.
Dubai, and you decide that you're going to have a few drinks, and you cheat on your wife for whatever reason in Dubai. You know that you're never making it home to America, right? Because over there, they will prosecute you. If the woman says anything, you will be prosecuted over there, and you will be held in contempt, and you will be put in prison in Dubai for however long they want to hold you, regardless of your citizenship. You know that, right? Like, when you go to Dubai, it's a very dangerous place.
What does that have to do with satellites or going to the moon?
Huh?
So I'm going to say this again. You're going to probably interrupt me and say that I'm just not listening, but I can play it back on my stream and show exactly what it is that you said. You started off saying that they haven't put satellites in any none of these countries have satellites. Then we name countries in the Middle East, in Muslim countries that have satellites. Then you immediately pivot to they haven't been to the moon. So then I name a bunch of other white Christian countries that haven't been to the moon. You then pivot to something totally different again. You have moved the goalposts every single time you make a claim that they haven't ever done this thing. And then we show that they have done this thing. You move the goalpost to something totally different because you have no idea what you're talking about. You're just making it up as you go.
The West is in innovation. The East is all about living back in Stone Age, man.
Yeah, China is in the Stone Age, bro. China's just all in the fucking Stone Age, dude. They're way behind us.
Yeah, you know what China's doing is they're tearing down mosques and kicking them out of their country. That's what they're doing.
So what they're doing to the Uyghurs, you're defending this?
I'm just telling you the facts, man. You want to know the facts because they understand that Islam cannot coincide with their country.
It's weird because that's like a communist country that I don't want the United States to replicate what these wild communist countries are doing. I want the United States to be a country based on the yes, that we differ on whether or not we care about the Constitution, whether or not we actually have American values, whether or not we actually have America. See, he's doing it again because he's not gonna Where do we have Sharia law?
You cannot have the Constitution and Sharia law.
Where do we have Sharia law? Where do we have Sharia law?
There's already 2 Sharia law courts that are in Texas right now.
Courts, Sharia law courts in Texas.
Yes.
When I pull this up, you're not going to move the goalposts again, right? You're claiming there are Sharia law courts in Texas, right?
Yes. I know. I have friends that live in Texas. They're one state over from me.
Okay. Yeah, from immediately everything says there are no official Sharia law courts in Texas that are backed up by any state law and it prohibits their existence.
Yeah, they're not backed. You're right. They're not backed up by state law because Greg Abbott actually said that Sharia law is outlawed in his country.
Oh, wow. So that's crazy. Okay. So yeah. So I was right. There are no courts in Texas that have Sharia law. Thank you. So move the goalposts. Go ahead.
They've been doing it. They've been doing it for 4 fucking years. In that
what does that mean, doing it? What does it mean, doing Sharia law if they don't have a state?
Enacting Sharia law courts for 4 years.
What does that mean, enacting Sharia law courts? What does that mean?
Christ. I can't with this guy.
Well, no, if you're telling me, so when I say that there's a court, I'll just explain my confusion. No, you're going to stop. I just allowed you to answer. I just allowed you to answer. Yes, I thought so. That's what I thought. Okay, yeah. So he muted me. Okay, yeah. So he muted me, but yeah.
I can't with the idiocy.
He can't answer questions about his own claims. That's so when I say there's a court, I'm saying that there is a rule, a place with a judge that makes rulings for the state. That's what a court is, right? But then immediately when we say, oh, the state has not ordained this, and okay, I asked you what a court was. I was listening. I asked you what a court. He muted me.
Ask the question. Talking cat. Go ahead.
Wait, I'm asking him the question.
Go ahead. Hold on. Talking. Go ahead.
What I was saying is that this has been going on for 4 years. They just now recently enacted a law based on Abbott's thing that he just did to outlaw Sharia law in his state. It's been going on, and the reason why he outlawed it was the fact that it was going on in his state. There were communities that were enacting Sharia law. There's also the same thing going on right now in New York City and has been for some time. Okay? And if you don't believe me, look it up. And I'm not talking about Google. I mean, look up real resources. Or better yet, be like me and actually know somebody that fucking lives there, that has seen it first fucking hand. All right? Not to mention, if you think that all this shit is what I'm talking about is just made up and garbage, then explain to me how London has fallen so fucking far. Explain to me how all these places have fallen so far. France, London, Britain, they've all fallen so far because of the same shit that I'm talking about. Okay? Explain to me how I'm wrong and how I'm ignorant and how I'm stupid and don't know what I'm talking about. Please. Look all that shit up. Then come back to me, Junior.
Well, I am looking it up, and that's why I'm asking you questions about it.
I don't like being told that I'm ignorant or I'm lying or I'm false, because I would never say something unless it was the truth. Don't fuck with me like that.
Okay, so I'm asking the most simplistic possible questions about your assertions. These are the simplest questions possible.
First
So
of
when
all,
you
Tom,
say
you are going to respect my moderator with the utmost respect. You're going to respect him. If I'm hearing from him that you're disrespecting him, man, I don't appreciate that.
But you're
So,
here.
start
What did I
showing
do
some
that was
respect here. Come on,
disrespectful?
man.
He's
Well, you were kind of calling him dumb and stupid, but
I
he's
did
got all the
not.
facts right in front of him.
I did not call him that. I never said that. I have it all in recording. I can play back everything that I've said. I never called him stupid.
Hey, tell me how good London's doing right now, or Britain, or fucking France. Tell me how good they're doing right now. Tell me how good
Not
they're
so
doing.
good.
Come on now.
I mean,
I already know the answer.
if you want to move the goalposts again, I'm happy to. But I would like at some point.
That's the goal.
I
That
would
is the
like
whole
at some
goal
point
of
to
them.
stay on a single
Oh my
claim that
God,
you've
dude,
made.
you won't.
What do you mean I won't?
just
You
made
haven't
the
let
whole
me talk
claim.
at all. I won't what?
You just
No,
did.
listen. I just made the whole claim. That's what they want to do to America. The
Okay,
same thing
and I'm
they're
trying to
doing
ask you about the
over there
claim,
in England.
and you won't answer the
Hold
questions.
on. Quit. Stop talking over him. Just hold on for a second. Just let him explain.
I'm talking over him.
Go ahead. You have the floor.
What I'm saying is,
Holy shit!
they live and die by the sword. The whole idea of their entire religion is to conquer. And what they do is they go in and they come in under the presidents that they're this peaceful, loving bullshit thing that they're not. And as soon as they get enough people, because they breed like cockroaches, as soon as they get enough people in, they start putting people in high power places and they start taking over. Okay, it's been documented for 1,400 years. It's happened in 52 other countries. We're going to be the 53rd. Okay, this is what's really going on. And if you don't believe me, look over in London, look in Britain, look in France, see what's happening over there, and then come back to me and tell me that I'm full of shit.
Am I allowed to talk now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. The last 3 times he's gone on like 2 to 3 minute long rants, and then the second that I start responding, I've been muted, and then he went on another 2 to 3 minute rant. This happened 3 times in a row. He keeps interrupting me.
Because you were talking over him.
No, he stopped talking each time, and I started to respond. And the second I started to respond, he interrupted me, and I was trying to finish what I was trying to say, and he wouldn't stop talking over me. Again, I have it on my VOD if
He
you
was
missed
trying
it.
to make a point, but you kept over talking over him.
I haven't asked my question yet. Okay, so my question was about Texas.
Bullshit.
And he was making a claim about what it was that was happening in Texas. And so I was saying what it is that I said, what it is that I think of when I think of a court, right? And so I was asking him, what does he mean by a Sharia law court if it's not something that's actually like has laws in a state and is like enacting anything by the state? Like, what does it mean to be a Sharia law court in Texas? Not France or anywhere else. In Texas, what does it mean to be a Sharia law court?
It means exactly what I said, and that is the reason why Abbott actually put in the act to outlaw it in his state. That's the whole reason why it even happened. If it never happened there, he would have never done it.
So what did you say it
Tell me
was?
that I'm full of shit and I don't know what I'm talking about.
So what you said, you already said it, but I haven't heard. What did you say it was? They're not enacting.
I guess I need crayons for this guy. I don't understand.
Well, no, the last time that I asked, you started talking about France and England.
Yes, because that's what happened in France and England.
I know. I'm asking what's happening. What is the court? What does it mean that they are a court? What does court mean in this?
What's happening in France and England?
No, not what's happening in France and England. What's happening in Texas? I don't want to move the goalposts. I want to know.
It's not happening anymore because it was finally outlawed.
Okay, what was it?
There were people that were enacting Sharia law in their own communities, and they had bullshit. They were bullshit. They were bullshit Sharia law courts that they were actually trying to sentence people with. in Texas.
All right, I'll ask this a different way.
Yes.
Did they behead
By the
somebody,
way, that is
or
why
did they?
Abbott- That is
Sorry.
why Abbott. That is why Abbott outlawed it.
Okay, so I'll ask it a different way. Are they beheading people or like stoning people in Texas in these Sharia law
What if
courts?
They could get away with it.
But they had
What
been
if they
doing
could
it.
get away with it?
They had been doing it for 4 years. So what are they doing if they're not doing that?
What do you mean? What are they doing? Go look it up, man.
I did.
And don't do it by Google. Don't go by Google, because Google is part of the problem. Okay? They're a leftist fucking cult bullshit thing. Google is. Don't do it by Google. Go outside the spectrum and actually.
I read
look
the
it up.
Texas Tribune. I read the Cato Institute. I'm reading the
You
Texan
didn't
now.
read a bunch.
I'm what you're saying is, I'm asking you. You're saying that I'm wrong if I say you don't know what you're talking about. You know all about this. You're
So
the one that
telling
I'm
me
asking.
You tell me there weren't two. You tell me there weren't two Sharia court laws that
I'm.
were there
Oh
going
my
on in
goodness!
Texas?
I have not said that.
Because I
I did
friend
not say that.
who's in that district that'll tell you. I'll tell
I
you.
did not
he'll
say
tell
that.
you a difference.
I did not
you
say
want
that.
me to- You want? Give me your number. I'll have him call you, and he'll.
I
tell you
did
all
not
about
say
it. How's
that.
sound?
I did not say that. I never said that. I don't.
Because I guarantee you don't live there. And
You-
he does. And he'll
I
tell you
never.
a
I
whole
never
different
said that.
story than what I'm telling you.
I never said that. I still.
But you're calling me out. You're calling me out and telling me that I'm full of shit, though.
I
right?
never said that. I never said that. Do you hear me saying this? I never said that. Stop arguing against something I never said. Why do you keep doing this? You keep arguing against things I
Because
never
you
said.
You said you Googled it, and there was no such thing.
I did not. I did not say that. I said you told me to look it up and don't use Google in all of these leftist sources. I read 3 sources that I just read on it. I never said it didn't exist. No. Hold on. Let me finish a statement before you start interrupting me. See, he's never going to let me. See, happens every fucking time. He doesn't let me say anything because he's terrified. And then he's going to cry and say, I'm interrupting him.
Dude, there ain't a man or a being on this planet that I'm terrified. Listen to me. Do you know
That's why you keep interrupting me.
Islam loves? Do you know why Islam loves the left and the left ideology? Because that's what they've used and manipulated in every single country that they've taken over for centuries.
So all I did not deny that the courts exist. I didn't never say that any of the things that you're saying. I've asked you numerous times, what were the courts doing? Okay. You keep saying that if I say you don't know what you're talking about, that this is horribly offensive to you. So you know all about this. You know what you're talking about. You should be able to answer very simple questions about it. So please, what is it that they
in those
did?
Communities, what they were doing was they were prosecuting their own fucking people that were Western civilized fucking people that were Muslims.
In what way?
Because they were too Western. When they were too Western, they were being. What do you mean? They were their families were being terrorized. Their homes were being terrorized.
In what
Things
way?
like this shit was going on, man.
In what way? What did they do to terrorize them?
Oh my god! Do I have to explain every little fucking detail to you?
You have to say something that actually means something at some point. So I'm asking you to tell me what it is that they actually did
I don't know. I mean,
that is
I'm pretty
wrong.
sure that I already covered it for you.
You didn't.
I'm sorry. Would you like somebody to terrorize your family and your home?
Okay, so listen. So right now, I could call what it is that we're doing in this call a Sharia court. I could say this is Sharia court right now, okay? And if later I said that I was doing Sharia court in this call, and you went off and said, yes, this guy's doing Sharia court in Georgia on TikTok, and somebody says, well, what is it that he did? And you just keep saying he did Sharia court, and they're like, yeah, but what did he do? And you're like, Sharia court. He terrorized me on a TikTok call. He was terrorizing me the whole time.
They did horrific things to their own fucking kind with westernized people that didn't want to participate.
Like what?
Oh my god.
You know about this.
You think I know every single fucking case, man?
Okay, so you can just say that you don't know. You can say you don't know. That's not a difficult thing. I'm just asking questions.
I know. I don't know every single case. I'm sorry.
I did not ask for every single case.
what was there? There was something like 4,075 cases. Yeah,
I
don't
did
know
not.
all of them, but I know
I
what was
did not
going on.
ask.
I'm
I did
sorry.
not ask for every single case. Why do you keep doing this? I asked for a case, one case, a single case. What is a thing that they did? What is something that they did? Not all 4,000, not every single, one
Listen,
thing.
you can apologize. Listen, you love Islam so much, man. You should move to the Middle East.
Why is
bro.
it so hard for you to just say you don't know? Why is that so hard for you? I've said I don't know about things numerous times during this call.
It's hard for you to be a fucking American, bro.
I am American. You're the one who's un-American.
No, you're not
You're the one who's very
You
un-American
simp for
here.
Islam, man.
You're the one who
You simp for Islam, man.
I've never simped for Islam. Trust me. I have never simped for Islam a day in my fucking life.
Because every time I say something that is factual, when it comes to Islam, you have some crybaby thing that you talk about how they're just,
Like
you
what?
don't understand.
Like
and
what did
you
I say?
can't believe this. And
When
blah,
did
blah,
I say that? When did I say that? Name one time that I said that.
Texas.
What about it?
Moving on now.
What did I say about Texas? It never happened. I never said that. I asked you questions. That's it. That's all I did the whole time. You got super defensive and started crying because I asked you questions. I did not. I have it on my video. What? I have it on my stream right now. I can scroll through it this second. I never said that. Yeah, see, you're very American being a lying fucking piece of shit. You know that? You're very American being a fucking lying piece of shit. You are so American. Very much like our president, just being a lying...
Say that it never happened that I was explaining in Texas?
No, I never said this. I never said that. I never said that.
I got it. I also got this on recording.
Okay,
and it
so
does say that you said it did not happen.
He said that I said it didn't happen. Every single time I said, I've never said it didn't happen. I never denied that it happened. I've said it 20 times that I never denied that it happened.
You did. I was listening to you the entire time. You said that it didn't happen when it actually did.
I never said it didn't happen. I never said that. But for the sake of being good faith, I will.
Or anything that ever happened in Texas. Those were your exact words that you gave me.
For the sake of being good faith, if you guys confuse something that I said to mean that, that's not what I meant. I was asking questions, and I was asking what it is he meant by Sharia court. That's all that I did. I was asking, what do you mean by Sharia court?
Persecute their own. Because what they do is they persecute their own in their own community. Because there are Muslims that are here that actually conform to Western civilization, and those are the ones that are actually haunted by the ones not wanting that. Do you understand what I'm saying now? Does it make sense?
You've repeated that numerous times. That wasn't what I asked you.
Overseas, the same thing that goes on overseas. Do you understand that there's people that are overseas? In a Muslim countries that believe in Christianity, and they're hunted until the end of their fucking family line.
Yes.
You don't understand that? This is literally what happens.
No, that's what I'm saying. No, that's what I'm saying.
That's what they were doing in Texas.
Okay, yes, okay. No, that's what I said.
You want to sit there and tell me that, oh, well, I looked it up on the Google machine, and it tells me that never happened.
I did not say that. So I want to be clear. That is what I said. I said, see, no. So real quick, what I said was, if you're saying that they're doing Sharia law, that means that they're like throwing people off of roofs. That means they're stoning people. That means they're beheading people. And you said no, but you just now. Why do you keep interrupting me? You literally, you seriously are terrified of me. You are terrified of me. You are terrified of me, dude. All right, I can't talk to a little girl like this. If you're this scared of me and you're unwilling to allow me to talk the whole time like a fucking man, then I can't. I'll go find a man. Thank you. I gotta find a man.